So, most of you have seen my children running around, hanging on me, wherever I am. The tea parties, the soup kitchen, anywhere I am, they usually are with me. They are 2 of the 2 million children in America that are currently homeschooled. There are 2 million of them, and I have 2. Sometimes it feels like 47, but I was always against homeschooling, always. I thought it would make my children weird, and I don't think that anymore. I know it now, but we are embracing that weirdness because we think it's the better way. My life, like yours, is not perfect. I have one daughter, like I said, that has dyslexia and ADD. My son has what we lovingly call the Eeyore syndrome, which means that he can find the dark cloud in every silver lining. He's very negative. God bless him. And my whole family has our share of hurts and habits, and sitting here on the front row told us once about a completely different subject. He said, don't let the good keep you from going for the best. And so here I am to talk to you tonight about what I believe is the best thing for our children in America. Teach students to value the school's foundation. You'll notice that Catholic schools teach Catholic doctrines and principles. In a homeschool, we teach to value the home, the family, and our values. I believe very strongly that we have to show them the values and principles of the school. And the government school, which a lot of people call public, but it's a government school, they teach a value to the government and its doctrines. And you see this every day with the government is the answer to everything. Be it healthcare or the homosexual agenda. Just because we homeschool doesn't mean that every homeschool has to be a Christian homeschool, because we teach Christian principles in our homeschool. But I'm going to tell you about my family because that's what I know. I know my family. It's about the modern government education. There's all different little subjects that we teach, but none of them relate to each other, and they're all centered around me. It's all about my history. It's about why the economics relates to me, math. I really struggle with this part because I hesitate to tell you what my children can do because I feel like it's bragging. But please understand that what my children know is in spite of me, not because of me. I mean, I've told you all that I am severely ADD. We will be in the middle of a math project or worksheet, and Natty will go, oh, look, a butterfly. And I'll say, oh, my son, Alex, at the first tea party, he sang the preamble to the Constitution. He had just turned 7 2 weeks before that. And he knew the preamble to the Constitution, and he asked me if he could sing it in front of 800 people with no problem. My family has created volunteers, not because you have to graduate, because it's part of our life. You know, every Thursday, my family goes to the New Beginning Soup Kitchen. We run the soup kitchen. Proverbs 14:13 says to help the poor is to honor God. And we go to the soup kitchen. My kids cook, they clean, they pass out meals to 400 people every Thursday. It's part of what we do as a family, and it's an opportunity for them to learn so much, not in a classroom setting, but in a setting of life. School, you have to, because you have 30 students, keep them all pretty much in the middle. The kids that are slow and have difficulties like dyslexia are forced forward, and the kids that are quick in 5th grade math are pulled back because you have 30 kids and you have to keep them centralized. I was a school teacher for 30 years, and in 1991 he won Teacher of the Year in the city of New York, and he stood up and gave this speech when he got his award. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. 7-lesson school teacher. These are the things that I teach. These are the things that you pay me to teach. Number 1, confusion. Everything I teach is out of context, which goes back to the diagram that I talked to you about. Nothing relates to anything. Number 2, class position. I teach that students must stay in the class where they belong. I've shown them how to envy and fear the better classes and how to have contempt for the dumb classes. Number 3, indifference. I teach children not to care too much about anything, even though they make it appear that they do. I do that by demanding that they become totally involved in my lessons, but when the bell rings, I insist that they drop whatever they're doing and proceed quickly to the next workstation. They must turn on and off like a switch. Number 4, emotional dependency. Stars, red checks, smiles and frowns, prizes, honors and disgraces. I teach kids to surrender their will to the predestinated chain of command. Number 5, intellectual dependency. Good students wait for a teacher to tell them what to do. This is the most important lesson that I teach. We must wait for other people, better trained than ourselves, to make meanings out of our lives. Number 6, provisional self-esteem. The lesson of report cards, grades, and tests is that children should not trust themselves or their parents, but should instead rely on the evaluation of certified officials. People need to be told what they're worth. And finally, number 7, one can't hide. I teach students that they are always watched, that each is under constant surveillance by me and my colleagues. No private spaces for children, no private time. Children will follow a private drummer if you can't get them into a uniform marching band. North Carolina allows many people to homeschool your children. It allows the parents, it allows the grandparents. There's a huge movement of grandparents homeschooling right now because of the economy, because of parents that are unable to stay home. There's a humongous movement and support group of grandparents that are now saying, you know what, I'm going to do that for my grandchildren because I believe it's that. It also says that one other homeschooling family can homeschool your children. It doesn't matter if you have 12 children, one other family can be homeschooled by a current homeschooling family. Many people think that the state of North Carolina gives me a list of books that I have to teach from. There's nothing farther from the truth. They have no idea what I teach, and that's good. And I choose my own curriculum. Whatever I want to teach, I teach my children. In closing, I want to share with you this quote that's at the top. It says, "The aim of totalitarian education has never been to instill convictions, but to destroy the capacity to form any."